The conclusion is the last thing your audience will hear from you, which increases the likelihood that they'll remember what you say. So you'll want to prepare. Stop eating my paper, Stevie. Don't do it again.
Cut.
No, leave it.
Okay.
I can cut all of this out because we're starting over. Am I in the right spot?
Yeah.
Okay. The conclusion, nope, I gotta give it a little more time. The conclusion is the last thing the audience will hear from you, which increases the likelihood that they'll remember what you say. So you need to make sure to plan, prepare, and practice the conclusion of your speech. Here's what you need to know. As a speaker, you need to signal the conclusion for the audience. You also, what?
Oh, I thought that you couldn't see it.
Let's start again. Hold it up.
No, like just going like for the audience, because that makes me think that I'm doing something wrong.
I might have to pause.
Okay.
So I'm in control here, not you.
Okay.
Okay.
Control freak.
This is gonna be like 2 minutes of nothing.
No.
Don't move the table. Seriously, am I in the right spot?
Yes.
Okay. The conclusion is the last thing your audience will hear from you as a speaker. It increases the likelihood that they'll remember what you say. So make sure, nope, I've got to start again.
This is gonna be 2 minutes of nothing.
It already is. All right, ready? Here we go. The conclusion is the last thing your audience will hear you say, which increases the likelihood that they'll remember.
Should we just take a break right now?
Nope. Do it again. Ready?
All right.
The conclusion is the last thing your audience will hear from you, which increases the likelihood they'll remember what you say. So you'll want to plan, prepare, and practice the conclusion of your speech. Here are some things you need to know. As a speaker, you need to signal the conclusion is coming. You need to provide a summary of your thesis statement and your main points, and you need to provide a memorable closing statement. Let's talk about signaling the conclusion. To signal the conclusion of your speech, all you need to do is use a signpost. Audiences have been conditioned to listen for transitional words and phrases such as finally, in conclusion, to summarize, in review, and in closing. You can create your own, or you could use one of the examples I just shared. Make sure to signal the conclusion for your audience. Signaling the conclusion is not the end for you as a speaker, though. There's still more for you to do. You also need to provide a summary of what you covered in the speech. Your summary should review your thesis statement and your main points. make sure to go over the highlights or explain or share an important piece of evidence that you covered in your speech. However, you should not introduce any new evidence in your conclusion. In addition to signaling the conclusion and providing a summary, you will also need to provide a memorable closing statement. This should follow the review of your main points and your thesis statement. Many times, you can use the same strategy you used to get the attention of your audience in your introduction. You could finish telling your story about the snowy 11A regional football game. You could restate the quote from Jackie Robinson. Or you could even tell another breakfast joke. Don't worry, I won't. You could challenge your audience to act in some way by asking them to volunteer for an hour or check out a mentoring program in your community. Using the same or a similar strategy in the conclusion of your speech will remind the audience why they paid attention to you in the first place. So let's review conclusions. You should signal the audience by using a signpost. You should review your thesis statement and the main points of your speech. And you should provide a memorable closing statement. If you can do those things, you know what will happen, right? You will make a positive and lasting impression on your audience and deliver a wonderful speech.